Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Analyst makes notable projection for the Cowboys. As they usually do, the Dallas Cowboys and their fans got really hyped up ahead of this season. Even though the Philadelphia Eagles figured to be the best team in the division, they never doubted their ability to get the job done and challenge them at the top, and that has been the case thus far. Nonetheless, as good as they've looked at times, they've also left a lot to be desired every single time they've been asked to play on the road. That's why former NFL WR Keyshawn Johnson isn't so sure about their chances to bounce back versus the Miami Dolphins on Sunday. Talking on Undisputed, he explained why he doesn't love the Cowboys' chances to get the #1 seed in the NFC. The Cowboys are fresh off a disappointing effort versus the Buffalo Bills, and staying another week away from Jerry World might not be what the doctor ordered. The Miami Dolphins are coming off thrashing the New York Jets' solid defense, with Tua Tagovailoa making a statement and proving that he doesn't need Tyreek Hill to be efficient. On top of that, the Dolphins have one of the most explosive running back duos in the league. Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert are an elite 1-2 punch, and the Cowboys should be scared of them after watching what James Cook was able to do to them last week. Of course, the Dolphins have also struggled to beat winning teams, and the Cowboys could still find success against them. Jimmy Johnson reflects on time with Dallas Cowboys, relationship with Jerry Jones. At long last, former Dallas Cowboys coach Jimmy Johnson will be inducted into the team's Ring of Honor on December 30th during the Cowboys game against the Detroit Lions. Johnson, now a contributor to the NFL on Fox, had a chance to sit down with Fox 4's Mike Dusey to discuss the honor, his time with the Cowboys and his relationship with owner Jerry Jones. Jimmy Johnson led the Dallas Cowboys to back-to-back Super Bowl wins in the 1990s. The Hall of Fame coach says he has great memories of his years in Dallas. "That was a special time for me," Johnson said. The success didn't start immediately. Johnson took over the Cowboys in 1989 and the team finished 1-15, the worst record in the league. Johnson says the slow start made the success even sweeter. "I think you're most proud of your accomplishments when you start from the bottom," he said. "We went through some rough times." Only a few years later, in 1992, the team won its first Super Bowl under Johnson. Then the Cowboys won again the next season. Johnson called the Cowboys the team of the 90s. "It took a lot of hard work, and we accomplished a lot," he said. "And when I say we, I mean Jerry and myself, because we were both working around the clock." Johnson was fired by Jerry Jones weeks after the 1993 Super Bowl win. The relationship between the two former Arkansas Razorback teammates has been a subject of scrutiny for years. Johnson says it's hard for him to explain his relationship with his former boss. "People really don't understand our relationship for the simple reason I don't understand it," Johnson joked. "When I'm with him, it's like we're a couple of brothers." Johnson says when he and Jones are together they are often laughing and sharing stories these days. "We are both pretty well egotistical, and we're very proud of what we accomplished, and so sometimes things come up and you go, well, that's not how exactly it happened," Johnson said. The Hall of Fame coach called his relationship with Jones as great. Many have wondered what would have happened with the Cowboys teams of the 90s if Johnson remained at the helm. Coach Barry Switzer led the team to a Super Bowl title in 1995. Johnson says what-ifs about his career are not in his DNA. "I don't ever look back. I always work from day to day and look forward," Johnson said. The coach said he had a conversation with quarterback Troy Aikman a few years after he left the team. Johnson recalled Aikman telling him the team could have been a dynasty if he had continued coaching. "I said, well, you did have a dynasty. It was the team of the 90s, he recalled. "Who knows what would have happened if I would have stayed, but as far as my happiness and as far as what I wanted to accomplish, it worked out well for me." Johnson said the team had a great run and he hopes the current team can go on another great run. Two members of the Carolina Panthers made the Pro Football Focus list of the top 100 impending free agents. The 2023 Carolina Panthers are not a good team, but that doesn't mean they don't have any good players. Pro Football Focus recently compiled their list of the top 100 impending free agents, and 2 separate Panthers earned a spot at the table. Before we get into it, it's worth mentioning that free agency itself does not begin until the middle of March. Between now and then, the Carolina Panthers could easily re-sign either one of these players to a long-term deal or use the franchise tag to prevent them from reaching the open market. With rumors that Scott Fitterer might be on the way out, Carolina probably won't make any big moves in the immediate future, but there is a very real chance that the next general manager signs at least one of these players to a big money contract. Without further ado, the following players made the list. It's no secret that Brian Burns is easily the best player on the Carolina Panthers, and is therefore one of the top impending free agents in the league. Several teams have tried to trade for the pass rusher over the past few seasons, but none have succeeded. While he hasn't put up the same sack numbers in 2023, he's still one of the better players in the league at a premium position. Playing in 13 games so far, the former first-round pick has recorded 6 sacks, 37 tackles, 13 tackles for loss, 15 quarterback hits, and a 78.2 PFF grade. The Dallas Cowboys are interested in hiring Brian Burns. While the sacks are lower than usual, his quarterback hits are right on line with his typical numbers and his PFF grade is actually a career high. Frankie Louvu, meanwhile, isn't nearly as big of a name, but he's still a valuable player in this defense. While he's no Luke Kuechly, the linebacker has established himself as a strong all-around player, recording 4.5 sacks, 104 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, and 8 quarterback hits. If the Panthers can't re-sign Brian Burns as a free agent, it could go down as the organization's biggest failure, and that's saying something. In case you hadn't noticed, Carolina hasn't been a particularly competitive team over the past few seasons, and they've had opportunities to trade Burns for premium draft picks. The Los Angeles Rams were reportedly willing to give up 2 first-round picks for Burns at the 2022 trade deadline, but Carolina said no. Additionally, the Bears reportedly wanted Burns in the original trade for the first overall pick, but the Panthers opted to send over DJ Moore instead. The only reason a team would do something like that is if they believed Burns was a foundational building block for the organization. If he walks for nothing, heads should roll. Frankie Louvu, however, might be on the way out. The Panthers currently have $38.4 million in 2024 cap space, so they could sign Louvu if that was their top priority. However, this roster has so many holes that they should invest in other positions instead of linebacker. Bryce Young has not had a good rookie season, but he's also had nothing to work with. If the Panthers truly want to see if he can become a franchise quarterback, they'll need to invest in as many offensive free agents as possible. At least one of T. Higgins, Mike Evans, and Michael Pittman should join the Panthers, and there is no such thing as too many good offensive linemen. Once Burns is locked up long-term, Carolina should devote all their resources to the offensive side of the ball. Sadly, that probably means Louvu is on the way out. And you fan, what do you think of the Brian Burns situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.